Hey, it's me again. I think you recognize the place if you've been watching these videos already. I'm at the waterfall, my favorite waterfall. Uh, and it's okay to have a favorite waterfall, I think. Um, there's lots of waterfalls on this creek, but this one's my favorite. Um, just like there's lots of men in the world, but one of them is my favorite. Lots of pens in the world, and one of them is my favorite. Lots of shirts in the world, but one of them is my favorite. Anyway, I hope you're well. Also, there are fewer red squirrels here, and the boars are back that way. So, should be no interruptions this time, unless I drop the phone or anything else like that. But anyway, hi. I'm sitting against an alder. I tried to show you some of the alder canopy here, including some of the catkins. Catkins are the names of the kind of the seed pods. They look a little bit like pine cones, but not really. I'm sure I can find one here. Oh, yep, here we go. Yep, plenty of them. Those are alder catkins. Get it really close to the camera. Oh no, it's all blocking. Okay, there we go. I don't know. One day I'll get the camera thing right. One day. It's only number 8 anyway, I guess. I got time. But yeah, I'm doing well. I'm doing really, really well. I'm very calm today again. Had a pretty exciting week. So, pardon. So last week, I guess that was Saturday when I made the video. It was a little late last week. And today is another day late. Because yesterday, which was Ascension, Ascension, the day that Jesus kind of supposedly went up to heaven, just out of nowhere, just poof. Fun fact, in German, the name of the holiday is Christi Himmelfahrt, which literally means Christ drives to heaven. They never say what kind of car he drove, but and if you say it kind of funny, or if you say it like you don't know German very well, Christi Himmelfahrt, it's pretty funny. Anyway, so yesterday was Ascension, and so everybody kind of had the day off. So we ended up hosting my family here at my man's place with his mother as well. We had this great day where my sister and he were waltzing, and then he took my brother-in-law for a drive in his new car, and cutest thing ever was my nephews were here and they were playing piano, and he showed them stuff. Really cute day. Really great, really human, really happy day that I'm still just, yeah, it was awesome. Otherwise, things are really well too. Like, amazing. Really. And at some point, I hope amazing never gets, amazing. I mean, how do I say this better? I hope amazing is never so common to me that it just becomes nothing. I think it'll always be amazing no matter what, even if there's lots of amazing things happening every day. Same way with this waterfall, right? I've seen this waterfall hundreds of times, and every time I'm here, it's still amazing. I'm sure amazing life will continue to be amazing. Yeah. So what was I going to talk about today? Well, I was going to talk a little bit about alder, because I love them. So this place you saw in the opening video. This is a small pool. There's a dead tree that is hanging over, and then a few other trees that were kind of supporting it. Now, I'm not 100% certain. I think the dead tree might have been an oak. It's a weird place for an oak, and there's no other oaks around, so this might have been an alder, which is weird because alders usually don't get that large. Alders they live about 100, 120 years old, and then they die. Which seems sad, but it isn't sad at all. So alders are, there's two trees in most northern temperate forests that are what you would call the you know, the vanguard of a forest, as it were. Those two trees are birch and alder. They grow when there's nothing else. They'll grow in meadows when there's no trees, no shade, or anything like that. And they both have very similar qualities. They kind of look a little similar. They have kind of the same energy as well. But alder is pretty exciting because of what it does. So alder likes to be wet. As they say, it likes its feet wet. They grow in swamps, along streams, etc. They love being waterlogged. And usually when you see an alder growth, it's because there used to be a swamp there, or a marshland or whatever, and it still tends to be kind of marshy. So they'll put down their roots, and they'll grow there, and they start to kind of hold the soil together. And by doing that, the water can kind of pool in better directions. Oftentimes it'll actually kind of create a stream where there was no stream before, where there was just a lake or a pond. And then it gives a chance for other trees to then root, because of the stability there. There are some trees that, you know, if it's too hot or too wet at the beginning, they won't grow. But the alders will make it possible for all these other trees to grow. And then the alder dies. They tend to get replaced by, you know, oaks, pines. Around here they get replaced by beech very quickly. Also, there's lots of hawthorn as well. But that doesn't end the alder, because the alder kind of keeps advancing. If you think of like think of the edge of a pond that's always kind of growing. And that edge, that shoreline is the alder, and it keeps advancing, well, keeps advancing the forest. So it's an awesome tree. It's my favorite tree, actually, for many reasons. In Welsh lore, it's associated with the god Bran, which means raven. And it's associated with him for quite a few reasons, but there's a myth, or part of the Mabinogion, excuse me, in the story of Bran, which again means raven. There's also, I can never pronounce the other word, but it basically means blessed raven, Bendith, or I can't remember. But anyway, so he goes to rescue his sister across the ocean, and yeah, there's a part where they have to cross a river, and he's basically like, oh, I'll lay down and you guys can walk across me, which is a reference to alder, because alder is used as bridges. Since it likes being wet, and since it doesn't disintegrate when it's wet, you can lay down alder piles into a stream when you're trying to create a ford for it. Well, creating a ford with those alder piles, and then you can create a bridge afterwards. Yeah, but I've always liked it in general. I always find myself surrounded by alder. Not just because it's a common tree, but because I just get pulled to it. You know, this place particularly, where I'm surrounded by alder. There's only one or two other trees here. You know, as I said, there's the hawthorn. There's a small elder, which is growing in the corpse of this very large tree behind me. It's pretty cute. Life grows on life. I love that. Yeah. I had all kinds of things to say today, but as I said, I'm just feeling really calm, really happy, feeling life kind of grow through me like roots. And yeah, it's funny, so many of you, you know, I mean, the last few, I usually do some sort of reference to the confinement, the quarantine, COVID, all of that stuff. And even though I've been back in the city a couple of times, you know, I've got a mask, you know, wear that. It still seems like such a distant thing to me, because I guess maybe because currently I don't rely so much on civilization and all of those things, though I'm starting to make friends. I made a new friend last week, which was cool. And you know, we host parties and stuff here, so I'm still seeing people. But it feels like, at least for me, for now, maybe it's just this period of time, you know, what's most important to me is this waterfall I'm sitting in front of, and the man I love, and myself, and the little bits of magic that I do here and there, and the little bits of magic that are constantly being done, and all of these wider nightmarish political things, they don't feel so nightmarish anymore, because, you know, perhaps it you know, you could say I'm protected or isolated from it, but, you know, under all of this has always been life, and life grows on life, and, you know, that doesn't change regardless of how fucked up things are. That continues. I think I one time heard someone say something about, you know, that what civilization does is it complicates your life. It tells you that you need these extra things, you know, and does everything it can to persuade you that living simply, be that without things or just enjoying little things like this, are somehow wrong, or that makes you inadequate, that makes you not enough, you're not getting enough out of life. And yet, here I am, I'm getting more out of life. Now, let's put that another way. Feeling more life, feeling wrapped in life, feeling the abundance of life, like air, breathing it all of the time. Like, there's never any point where there's no air. It continues, it's around me. I don't have to hold it, I don't have to pull it towards me, it's here. That's how I feel right now, and it seems like that is so much more important than anything else. And, you know, if we were to do politics from that, just that would be a good place to start, where what allows humans to do this? What allows these places to exist? What allows humans the time and, you know, the feeling of, well, the senses to do this? You know, those are the good things. And what prevents humans from doing that? Or what gets rid of these places? Or, you know, what closes us off from that? Well, those are the bad things. So, you know, good, bad, it's not always the best words to use, but we want more of one thing and a lot less of the other. And yeah. Anyway, sorry this is a little rambly, but as I said, I feel great. And I'm gonna lay against this tree for another hour or so after that, or after this video. But I hope you're well. Thank you always for your support. I deeply appreciate it. And by the way, so you've probably noticed I haven't been writing essays and stuff. I think I've mentioned this already, but I've been spending almost all of my time, my creative writing time, on a novel that I'm almost finished with. I have 3 chapters left. I finished one of them. I had 4 chapters, now I have 3. And so it's going to be done pretty soon. And I'll probably give you guys a look at the draft once that's completed and I'm happy with it. And then I'm going to start sending it off to agents to try to find someone to sell it, which would be cool. I think you guys will like it. I do. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, be well. Love you all. And I'll talk to you next week. Bye.